So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And listen, the next video we're getting into is Dron makes chilling discovery after spotting this on the side of a mountain. So you know we're here to check out some mysterious and strange discoveries. You ready? All right, so I just need for you to remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out now.
Mountains are one of the greatest geographical features on our planet. For most, hiking up a mountain is the rest that they need. Sometimes, however, people's peace gets interrupted. From mysterious mummified remains to creepy cryptids, here are 20 scary mountain discoveries. Number 20. Let's See The Iceman. In 1991, two German hikers traversing the Ötztal Alps near the border between Austria and Hungary stumbled upon a chilling sight, the frozen remains of a person. Although terrifying, people succumbing to the Alps wasn't anything unheard of. A lot of people lose their lives before they reach the summit of mountains all around the world. However, what the two explorers found on this fateful day was quite different. What they stumbled upon wasn't the body of a hiker. Rather, it was a well-preserved mummy that dates back to 5,300 years ago. Today, this mummy is known as Ötzi the Iceman. Ötzi lived around 3300 BCE, making him the oldest natural human mummy ever discovered in Europe. Unlike other remains that were deliberately preserved through human intervention, Ötzi's body was preserved by the unforgiving temperatures in the mountains. Ötzi was eventually studied by researchers, and thanks to his well-preserved body, it was easy to learn about him back when he was still alive. He stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighed around 110 pounds, and was approximately 45 years old when he met his untimely death. He had over 61 tattoos, which are also the oldest known example of the art. Just like his seemingly untimely and tragic death, his life wasn't easy, as he was riddled with physical ailments and injuries. He suffered from arthritis, Lyme disease, and even had evidence of parasites in his intestines. One mystery about Ötzi remains to this day, however. What was the cause of his death? Some believe that he simply succumbed to the harsh elements, but recent research revealed that he had an arrowhead lodged in his shoulder and had signs of blunt force trauma to his head. Whether these injuries are deliberate or accidental continues to be a mystery. Before we go on,
Listen, I've heard people coming down on hard times and having a stroke of bad luck, but what do you classify him as? Like, what went wrong, or who did he piss off, or what was going on?
like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. Lake of Skeletons. High up in the Indian Himalayas at an altitude of over 16,000 feet is the Rupkund Lake. This lake is often frozen, and if you try to peer within it, you notice something terrifying: skeletons. This body of water has an infamous nickname, the Skeleton Lake. The lake was first discovered back in 1942 by a British forest ranger. Imagine his surprise when he found bones sticking out of the shallow pool of water. Initially, the skeletons were thought to be the remains of Japanese soldiers who perished during World War II. However, further investigation revealed that these bones were far older, dating back to around 850 AD. Recent DNA analysis revealed that the skeletons here didn't come from a single group. Rather, one group, which died around 800 AD, consisted of people with South Asian ancestry. The other group, which perished much later, around 1800 AD, had Mediterranean origins, particularly from Greece and Crete. Instead of ending the mystery behind these skeletons, the result of the research further complicated theories. And so today, we're still unsure about the identity of the people who perished on the mountain. There are some theories that it belonged to a king and his entourage, but a conclusion is yet to be reached by researchers. Number 18. The Alba Witch. If you're from Pennsylvania, perhaps you're already familiar with the Alba Witch, also known as the state's Little Bigfoot. The Alba Witch is believed to be a small, ape-like creature said to inhabit the forests around Columbia, particularly near Chickee's Rock along the Susquehanna River. Unlike its larger cousin, the Bigfoot, the Alba Witch stands about 4 feet tall and has a more slender, human-like build. It's covered in hair and has a peculiar penchant for apples, which has earned it the nickname derived from Pennsylvania Dutch, apple snitch. Local legends and folklore describe the Alba Witch as a mischievous creature that loves to steal apples from picnickers and even throw the cores back at them if they get too close. Stories of these encounters date back to Native American times. The Susquehannock people, who once inhabited the region, reportedly painted images of small, hairy creatures on their war shields, which some believe represent the Alba Witch. Sightings of this bizarre creature have been sporadic over the years. However, before its existence could completely die down, new sightings of it get reported, keeping it alive in local lore. To this day, there are still those who continue to believe in the existence of the Alba Witch, with some claiming they could feel eyes looking at them from within the woods. Number 17. Mysterious solar panels. Anything can be terrifying and creepy as long as it's unexplained. That's why a year ago, several people were unnerved when several solar-powered antennas kept appearing without any clear explanation around the mountains of Salt Lake City, Utah. These mysterious devices consist of a solar panel, a LoRa fiberglass antenna, and a locked battery box. They've been discovered bolted into the rugged terrain of various peaks and ridges, including the summit of Mount Wire, which stands over 7,000 feet high. It was said that the first of these installations was noticed about a year ago, and since then, around a dozen have been found scattered across the foothills. The appearance of these antennas has led to numerous theories. One of the most prominent is that they might be part of a cryptocurrency mining operation specifically linked to the Helium network. This network uses a decentralized wireless system to mine crypto, and placing antenna at high elevations would maximize their efficiency by providing better coverage. However, given the recent decline in the value of Helium cryptocurrency, it's unclear if this theory holds water from a financial perspective. Despite the fact that they've caused quite a stir among locals living near the area, the antennas never really caused any damage. For this reason, people spent more time thinking about their purpose rather than a way to remove all of them. However, since they were installed without the necessary permits, they're being systematically dismantled. The Salt Lake City Public Lands Department and other local authorities have been working to remove them, though the process is challenging due to the rugged and often inaccessible locations where these devices have been placed. So, is there anyone here who could clear up the mystery behind these antennas? If you have any ideas, feel free to share them in the comments down below. Number 16. Dyatlov Pass Incident. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov embarked on an expedition in the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. This journey would lead to one of the most enduring and mysterious incidents in modern history, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The group set out with high spirits, aiming to reach a Torton mountain. However, on February 1st, they pitched their tent on the slopes of Kolatsyakl. In Monsey language, this means dead mountain. This, from the get-go, sounds quite ominous. The next morning, something catastrophic happened that forced the hikers to flee their tent, inadequately dressed for the sub-zero temperatures. Their bodies were found weeks later, scattered in various states of undress and severe injuries. Initial theories included an avalanche, but rescuers found no definitive sign of one, such as debris or disrupted tree lines. What's even more bizarre is the fact that the tent had been cut open from the inside, suggesting the hikers were desperate to escape something within or nearby. Speculation about their deaths has ranged widely, from secret military tests and UFOs to an attack by a Yeti or indigenous Mansi people. However, none of these theories fully explain the circumstances and varied injuries observed. Recently, scientists using advanced simulation techniques have suggested a slab avalanche combined with katabatic winds might be responsible.
So let's set the scene. Imagine being in a tent. What would make you get to the point to where you gotta cut your way from the inside to get out of it? Maybe something lands on like your way out. What is it? What you call it? You open it up when you open your tent up. Whatever that means of egress is that you would use for entry and exit. Normally that you would normally use is covered up some kind of way. You got to cut yourself out. What would cause that? Something falling on the tent. Something. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Being attacked by a Yeti. You don't have time to cut through a tent to get away from them. So that just seems weird to me. Seems weird that your normal entrance to the tent is some kind of way sealed off, and now you got to cut your way out. What would cause that? I don't know. That's gonna bother me.
This theory posits that a sudden, powerful avalanche could have driven the hikers from their tent and inflicted the severe injuries observed, though this remains a theory with some unresolved questions. And so today, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to be a chilling and mysterious incident to many all around the globe. Number 15. Poop problem. Denali is the highest peak in North America, standing at 20,310 feet. Now, most people climb this summit simply because it's easily accessible to them. Perhaps this is the reason for this rather unsettling problem: human waste. You see, over the decades, the increasing number of climbers attempting to summit Denali has resulted in a significant accumulation of human feces on the mountain. Trust me, most of the human waste bags belong to those who turned around before they could even reach the top. To climb the summit, climbers spend around 16 to 18 days on Denali. Of course, they have no other place to store their waste rather than the mountain itself. Estimates suggest that between 1951 and 2012, about 152,000 to 215,000 pounds of feces have been deposited on the glacier. Initially, climbers disposed of their waste by burying it in pits or tossing it into deep crevasses, believing the ice would naturally break it down. However, recent studies have shown that this waste does not decompose. This means waste, even from the 1960s, is still right there. Yikes.
So y'all turning it into a landfill pretty much is what y'all doing, man. Y'all nasty jokers. You know it's gonna freeze. It ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Oh, so now that's something else you gotta worry about.
Number 14. Costa Rica's Cave of Death. Nestled within the Recreo Verde tourist complex in Venecia de San Carlos, Costa Rica, lies a small yet deadly cave known as the Cave of Death. This cavern might not look like much. In fact, its entrance could easily be missed. However, this cave is known to end the life of any creature that ventures inside. The cave is relatively small, measuring about 6.5 feet deep and nearly 10 feet long. Despite its modest size, the cave is filled with dangerously high concentrations of carbon dioxide gas, which is colorless and odorless. This gas seeps into the cave from deep within the earth, likely originating from volcanic activity. When the carbon dioxide displaces the oxygen inside the cave, it creates a deadly environment for any living being. The lethal nature of the Cave of Death was discovered during the construction of the Recreo Verde complex. Workers who ventured too close to the cave's entrance experienced severe symptoms of carbon dioxide poisoning, prompting a thorough investigation. The findings revealed that the cave consistently emits about 30 kilograms of carbon dioxide per hour. This high concentration of gas makes the cave particularly deadly to small animals, which suffocate shortly after entering. Due to its dangerous conditions, the Cave of Death is off limits to visitors. The entrance is marked with warning signs to prevent accidental entry. However, curious tourists can still observe the cave from a safe distance. Local guides often demonstrate the cave's lethal properties by placing a lit torch near the entrance, which is quickly extinguished by the lack of oxygen. So if you see small creatures in the wilderness, perhaps you should observe first if any creature made its home in the cavern. If you see something, perhaps it's in your best interest not to explore further. Number 13. Voices on the Mountain. People who have made it their mission to see the highest summits in the world often leave Mount Everest as the last mountain they'll conquer. After all, reaching its summit isn't an easy feat, and many have lost their lives attempting to see the mountaintop. Now, there's one intriguing phenomenon often experienced by those climbing Mount Everest. Many claim that they often hear voices. One notable case is that of Dr. Jeremy Windsor, who in 2008 reported hearing a man named Jimmy encouraging him during his climb on Everest. Jimmy stayed with him throughout the day, only to vanish without a trace later. You would think that this is just a one-time occurrence, but many similar experiences have been reported by hikers. Scientists propose that at altitudes above 22,965 feet, climbers often experience a condition known as isolated high-altitude psychosis. Unlike altitude sickness, which includes symptoms like headaches, dizziness, and impaired balance due to low oxygen levels, high-altitude psychosis is characterized by auditory and visual hallucinations, along with delusions. The exact cause of these hallucinations remains unclear. One thing remains clear, though. These hallucinations and delusions are often positive. It could be the voice of an encouraging person hiking beside you, not letting you lose your way to reach the top, or a vision of being with someone else, a comforting presence amidst the cold. Perhaps this phenomenon is the human brain's way of tricking the mind to push the body to its limit with the help of the illusion of a companion.
So not only do I have to try to overcome all the elements and everything, the cold, the snow, me being tired. Not only that, I got to deal with hallucination too. People around me that I think is there, not really there. Like, what makes this worth it to y'all? Just to get up there and beat your chest and say you did it? Nah, man. The odds are too stacked against me for this. This is a no-brainer. No, I'm not doing it.
Number 12. Eternally Burning Mountain of Azerbaijan. Nestled on the Abrshan Peninsula northeast of Baku, Azerbaijan, lies Yanar Dag, the Burning Mountain. This hill can flame jet into the air 9.8 feet from a thin, porous sandstone layer, resulting in this burning land. The phenomenon of Yanar Dag is not a recent occurrence. Historical records suggest this natural fire has been burning for thousands of years. Marco Polo mentioned these eternal flames during his travels in the 13th century, and French writer Alexandre Dumas also noted the striking sight in the 19th century. To this day, Yanar Dag's fire is naturally occurring and continues to burn. Number 11. Winding Road. Looking at this road from above is already giving me whiplash. You're looking at the Panlong Ancient Road, also known as the Pamir Plateau Sky Road. It's considered a marvel of modern engineering located in Xinjiang, China. But for others, this winding road is hell for drivers. Officially opened in 2019, this road was initially constructed to facilitate travel for local farmers and herders, but has since become a significant tourist attraction. The reason should be quite obvious. Stretching over 46 miles, this road has more than 600 sharp turns, some of which are hairpin bends that turn almost 180 to 270 degrees. As if that's not enough, it also reaches an altitude of over 4,100 meters, making it one of the highest roads in the world. That's a lot of risks to consider. Driving along the Panlong Ancient Road is not for the faint of heart. The road demands careful navigation, especially given its steep slopes and tight curves. While there's a breathtaking view while driving through this road, it won't help anyone who easily gets carsick and those who can't handle being at extreme heights. Number 10. White Thang. White Thang is an elusive creature often described as an ape-like being, standing between 7 to 10 feet tall, covered in thick white fur and possessing glowing red eyes. The White Thang has been sighted primarily in the northern parts of Alabama, particularly in a triangular area encompassing Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties. The earliest recorded sightings of the White Thang date back to the 1930s. These reports typically describe a creature that moves both on two legs and on all fours, exhibiting remarkable speed and agility. Witnesses often mention a loud, piercing scream that sounds like a woman in distress, as well as a strong, foul odor reminiscent of rotting fish. Descriptions of the White Thang vary significantly. Some witnesses claim it resembles a large white ape or a Bigfoot-like figure, while others describe it as looking more like a white lion or even a kangaroo with a cat's head. This variation has led some to speculate that the White Thang might be a shapeshifter capable of changing its form. Whether the White Thang is a product of imagination, mistaken identity, or something yet to be explained remains a mystery today. Number 9. A Lone Feline. Imagine exerting a lot of effort just to climb the highest peak in your country. You finally reach the summit, and when you get there, you find yourself eye to eye with a feline, just resting there like it's not one of the hardest spots to reach in the country. That's exactly what happened to a Polish mountain climber named Jabzinski after reaching the highest peak in Poland at 8,205 feet above sea level. After reaching Rica, which is the mountain's summit, he found himself looking at a domestic cat. The ginger feline was found nonchalantly licking its paws and seemed completely unfazed by the altitude and cold. Now, a cat in another place would be cute, but if it's in a place where it shouldn't be, it can be rather odd and creepy. Jabzinski, taken aback by the sight, documented the encounter with photos and video, which quickly went viral. The presence of the cat at such an extreme height puzzled many. Some speculated that the cat might have wandered up from a nearby tourist hut, while others jokingly claimed that the cat was a snow leopard or another predator in disguise. There were those who feared that the cat might have been abandoned on the summit. But hey, Who would hike the highest summit in the country just to hopefully get rid of a cat? In the end, we never truly got an answer about where the cat really came from. However, judging from its coat, weight, and demeanor, it's likely that he has a home somewhere nearby, perhaps a tourist hut. The cat probably wandered to the summit waiting for tourists, hoping to get some free food. Number 8.
That just further proves my point that cats are so gangster. Just seeing the way he looked back at the screen, the way he's sitting up there chilling. Like, this is nothing to me. Y'all think this is something? This is nothing to me. Cats are so gangster, man.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is one of the most enduring and captivating legends of North American folklore. In fact, it's quite impossible that you've never heard about this cryptid. This being is believed to be a giant, hairy humanoid being who walks on 2 feet. It's believed to stand anywhere from 6 to 9 feet tall, and is said to reside in the dense forests and mountainous regions of the Pacific Northwest. Sightings of Bigfoot have been reported throughout the United States and Canada, but Washington State holds the highest number of recorded sightings. Areas like the Blue Mountains along the Oregon-Washington border and the remote regions of the North Cascades are frequently mentioned in reports. And yet, despite frequent sightings of Bigfoot and several large footprints that are too odd to explain, Sasquatch continues to be a cryptid. Ever since this being entered public consciousness, many have made it their mission to prove that it truly exists, and yet to this day, no one has been successful. Number 7. Skunk Ape. In Florida, Bigfoot's existence isn't as believed in as much as the skunk ape. This cryptid is described as a large bipedal ape-like animal covered in shaggy fur, standing about 6 to 7 feet tall and known for its distinctive pungent odor reminiscent of a skunk, which explains its name. The history of skunk ape sightings dates back to early settlers and even Native American tribes. One of the earliest well-documented sightings occurred in 1957 when 2 hunters in the Everglades reported an encounter with a large, foul-smelling ape-like creature. Since then, numerous sightings have been reported, and yet, despite sightings and reports, the existence of the skunk ape has never been confirmed. Number 6. Dollhead Trail. In the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, lies a trail unlike any other, the Dollhead Trail. Located within Constitution Lakes Park, this trail doesn't boast nature alone. Rather, it lets hikers explore and observe macabre attractions, including dollheads. Back in 2011, local carpenter Joel Slayton created the Dollhead Trail. The trail winds through the 125-acre park, once the site of a 19th century brick factory. Over the years, the area became a dumping ground for debris and discarded items. Of course, this is something that shouldn't happen. Again, people should leave nothing but footprints when exploring nature reserves. But instead of cleaning up and tightening rules, Slayton saw an opportunity to transform this litter into art, encouraging visitors to contribute their own creations using only materials found within the park. As a result, the trail is now lined with an eclectic mix of doll parts, old toys, bricks, and other discarded objects, all repurposed into thought-provoking art installations. Again, guests were only free to create installations out of items already on the trail. Bringing your own garbage or trinkets is strictly prohibited. Perhaps some of you guys already had the chance to visit this trail. If so, how did the experience go? Let me know in the comments down below. Number 5. Poop-eating pitcher plant. Creatures in the wilderness adapt according to what they need to do just to survive. Carnivorous plants in the mountains and wilderness of Southeast Asia, particularly Borneo, had quite a terrifying adaptation. From consuming small insects, several carnivorous pitcher plants modified their traps to capture the droppings of animals, like tree shrews. This shift provides the plants with a more consistent and rich source of nutrients, especially nitrogen and phosphorus, which are crucial to their growth and development. Basically speaking, instead of eating insects and small animals, some plants resorted to eating poop. While this might seem like a downgrade, subsequent research revealed otherwise. The nutritional analysis conducted in the study revealed that the animal droppings actually offer a more balanced and abundant supply of essential nutrients compared to the sporadic and sometimes nutrient-poor insect prey. Number 4. Wampus Cat. One of the most bizarre creatures in the Appalachian region is allegedly a being that is half mountain lion, half woman, known as the Wampus Cat. According to one version,
did he say half mountain lion, half woman. Yeah, that's a dangerous combination. And I never want to go up against her. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I never knew I needed to hear that type of creation, but now that I do, yeah. No, thank you, man. I think I'll rather face other deadly diseases than go up against that. Are you serious? No, thank you.
Of the legend, the Wampus Cat was once a Cherokee woman punished for spying on a sacred ceremony. Disguised in the pelt of a mountain lion, she was discovered and cursed by a medicine man to roam the forest forever as a half-woman, half-cat creature. However, another version of the myth claims that a woman named Running Deer sought to defeat an evil spirit that had driven her husband mad. Using a magical mask and the spirit of a mountain cat, she scared the spirit away, but her own spirit became bound to the creature we now know as the Wampus Cat. Sightings of the Wampus Cat have been reported across the Appalachian Mountains and the southeastern United States, particularly in states like Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina. These sightings often occur at twilight or dawn, when the creature is said to be most active. Although generally considered a cryptid, a being whose existence is between the realm of fiction and reality, many continue to believe that the Wampus resides in the Appalachian wilderness. Number 3. The Dark Watchers of California. Have you heard of the Dark Watchers? These are allegedly shadowy figures seen in the Santa Lucia Mountains of California. These mysterious beings are often described as tall, human-like silhouettes, sometimes wearing hats and cloaks and carrying a staff. The Dark Watchers have deep roots in local folklore, dating back to the native Chumash people, and later the Spanish settlers, who called them the Vigilantes. The Chumash believed these figures were spirits watching over the land, while the Spanish thought they might be soldiers keeping an eye on the coast. One of the more famous mentions of the Dark Watchers comes from author John Steinbeck in his 1938 short story Flight, where he describes them as mysterious figures that one should never approach or speak to. Steinbeck's son, Thomas, also grew fascinated by the legend and co-authored a book exploring these enigmatic beings. While the stories of the Dark Watchers are compelling, there are scientific explanations for these sightings. One popular theory is the phenomenon of the Brocken specter, where shadows are cast onto clouds or mist, creating the illusion of large shadowy figures. This optical illusion can be particularly striking when the sun is low and the conditions are right, making the shadow appear enormous and ghostly. Despite the eerie nature of these encounters, the Dark Watchers are generally considered benign, simply observing from a distance. They vanish without a trace if approached, leaving the questions about what they are completely unanswered. Number 2. The mysterious orang pendek. Deep within the dense jungles of Sumatra allegedly lives the orang pendek, or short person. This elusive creature is often described as a small bipedal primate covered in dark fur, and its existence has been described in the mountains for over a century. The orang pendek stands between 3 to 4 feet tall and is known for its incredible strength and human-like gait. Sightings have predominantly occurred in the Kenichi Sablat National Park, a vast and rugged terrain that provides an ideal habitat for such a mysterious creature to remain hidden. Witnesses, ranging from local villagers to Western scientists, have described encounters with this enigmatic being, fueling numerous expeditions to uncover the truth. Witnesses often describe the creature as having a human-like face, broad shoulders, and long arms. Unlike other cryptids, the orang pendek has left behind physical evidence, including footprints and hair samples. These traces have undergone scientific analysis, with some results suggesting that the hair does not match any known primate species. The indigenous people of Sumatra, particularly the Kubu tribe, have long held beliefs in the existence of the orang pendek. Their oral histories and folklore include numerous accounts of this creature, portraying it as a shy but powerful guardian of the forest. And yet, despite numerous expeditions and advanced technological efforts to capture definitive proof, the orang pendek remains elusive. Some researchers propose that the creature could be a surviving hominid, potentially a descendant of Homo floresiensis, also known as the Hobbit, which was discovered on the nearby island of Flores. This theory is supported by the small stature and human-like characteristics often attributed to the orang pendek. To this day, however, the truth behind this cryptid remains unknown. And now, it's time for today's topic. Dron makes chilling discovery after spotting this on the side of a mountain. A man was exploring a mountainside, shooting picturesque videos of the landscape, when he encountered what seemed like a face on one of the cliffs. Now, we're all probably familiar with Mount Rushmore. It's not impossible to sculpt detailed faces on a mountain. However, there are no records or any details that a sculpture of a face exists on the mountainside. This left the man wondering whether what he saw was a man-made creation, a naturally occurring formation, or something else entirely. What's more chilling is that when he tried to take footage of the feature again, he couldn't find it anymore. Well, that's creepy. Number 1. A loyal companion. On August 19, 2023, 71-year-old Rich Moore set out to summit Blackhead Peak in the San Juan Mountains. Rich had prior experience in climbing, and along with his beloved dog Finney, he was quite confident at climbing and exploring the wilderness. Unfortunately, things took a tragic turn. Days passed, and Rich never returned. The search and rescue operation followed suit, hoping to find the 71-year-old man. The search for the man ended, and it wasn't until the 30th of October that he was found. A local hunter in the Lower Blanco drainage basin discovered Moore's body nearly 10 weeks after he went missing. However, his body wasn't the only thing discovered on the mountain. Beside his body was his faithful Jack Russell Terrier. The dog survived the harsh environment of the mountain for over 2 months. Despite losing more than half her body weight, Finney was otherwise healthy, likely sustained by drinking from nearby streams and hunting small animals. The exact cause of Moore's death remains undetermined, though hypothermia is suspected, given the cold temperatures at high altitudes. Even during the summer months, Moore was found wearing only a cotton sweatshirt, which would have been insufficient protection against the cold. And it seems that no matter what happened, the dog refused to abandon its lifelong friend. In the end, Finney was taken to safety. Needless to say, her loyalty and story broke the hearts of those who heard her story.
I'm so glad he wasn't alone. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst. That's got to be like the worst feeling, to just go out alone. He had his dog, and although everything else wasn't right, he had that dog. Again, I be saying, y'all, man's best friend. Get you one.
Guess you'll never truly know what you'll encounter in the mountains until you reach it. If you've had other strange, creepy, or even unforgettable experiences while exploring mountains,